Hello and welcome to the IBM IELTS Academy. We're going to have an IELTS mock exam today and I'm your examiner, Candida Magsian. What's your name, please?
My name is Behnam.
Oh, Behnam. And could I see your card, please, your student card? Thank you. And what's your student number?
My student number is 127.
Yes.
250.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Isfahan.
All right, and do you work or study?
I actually studying right now at master, and I work in my home.
So what is your master subject in?
It's artificial intelligence for computer engineering.
Should we be worried?
No.
Should we about artificial intelligence, I mean?
In the future, maybe, yes.
Maybe. Okay, and what's your favorite leisure activity?
My leisure activity is mostly when I'm working, like I work on my laptop and I'm usually sitting, but when I have free time, I don't usually go anywhere, but I'm actually sitting there still and I just watch movies and some YouTube videos on my laptop.
Are you a gamer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's the leisure activity, number one leisure activity of young people now.
Yes.
You need to be. What did you like to do in your spare time as a child?
Well, when I was a child, I really liked to play with my brother, and well, he was actually really kind to me, and we played a lot of games together, like sports, football.
Is he older than you?
Yeah, he's 7 older than me.
7 years older.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was nice for him to have somebody to play with, actually, and for you. Do you like to spend your free time with other people or alone?
No, I think I'm better go alone.
Yes, okay. I think people who get into IT tend to find themselves alone because you're not really alone, you think, because you're interacting on the internet. However,
yes, I think so, but like in general, I don't usually talk to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to change that or not?
Well, I'm happy right now.
You're happy. That's great. I'm just, wanting to expand. Okay. Do most people in your nation have 2 days off work?
Well, I think so. Yeah, most people I know actually they have 2 days off, but well, it happened like recent, I think 5 years. Mm-hmm. But before that, it was just Fridays.
Thank you. Do you think leisure time or free time is important?
Well, in my opinion, it's very important because when we work, we can't actually communicate and we can't be with our family and friends. So, yeah, it's really important.
Thank you. Well, actually, I didn't go over the type of the exam actually structure, but I think the next bit is a cue card, which I'm going to give you, and some paper, so you have a minute to prepare and then 2 minutes to speak about it.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. That's all right. Go ahead. So I would like you to talk about someone who has solved a problem wisely, and tell me who that person is, what the problem was, how he or she solved it, and why you think they did it in a smart way.
Yes. I remember when I was a child, I was 5 years old. We lived in a bigger house. So, and I remember that it was like a holiday that we were in the house with all the family, and suddenly water pipe got exploded, and the house got flooded, and we were really worried, and there was still water coming into the house. And I remember my dad and my uncle went to the basement, and I went with them, and they actually had to find the main valve, and they had to close the valve, but it was stuck. So they kind of destroyed this valve as well, and they used a very big another pipe to close the valve, so the flood got stopped, but we didn't have water for some time, for some 2 or 3 days. And but I guess if they didn't know how to do it, our house would have gone really destroyed.
Okay, thank you very much. And so now we're going on to the third part. We'll move on. So it's a discussion. You get a chance to give a little bit more detail. Do you think kids are born smart, or do they learn to be smart?
I guess smartness is not what we have, it's what we gain. And the way that we educate, I guess it will affect on our mind. And I guess being smart is not what we're born, it's what we achieve.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And how do children become smarter at school?
I think a tiny part of it is studying, but the biggest part is to experience some works, some activities, mm-hmm. and it's not just a study.
Okay, thank you. And why are some people well-rounded and others are good at just one thing?
I guess that's relevant to their personality, I guess. Some people like to communicate and go out and mm-hmm. experience more things, but some people just want to concentrate on one thing, and I think that's because they don't want any trouble, or they don't want to risk.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Why does modern society need all kinds of talents?
Well, I guess because for modern people, the way we live, we need a lot of stuff that we want to use now, and if we don't have like these people, we don't have smart new things, we can't live smart, I guess.
Mm. So you need lots of people to make different things, yes. Different talents. Okay, thank you very much. Well, that's the end of the test. I'm going to give you some feedback now. And so, all right, well, I think one of the things you're very good at, you're considering you spend a lot of time alone and you're not speaking, maybe in going to language classes where you're interacting with other people, you have actually got good English, and you do make contact eye contact well, which is very important in conversation. I think in the first part you could say a bit more. I know maybe you have precise answers, but really because the test is about giving an opportunity for you to show what you know in a short time, it's quite good to make the most of it. You know, let it be more and we stop you rather than it being less, I think, in the first part. In the second part, well, one of them is, and that's okay, and I can see you are a little bit nervous though, and that's okay because in tests we naturally are, but you don't have any problem understanding me at all. And I have a very British accent.
Yes.
Okay, or no accent, so it's very different to perhaps what you've heard, unless maybe online you're listening to some, what do you call them, you know, pre-recorded videos and things. Right? It shows you I'm not technical. But anyway, pipe exploded. Well, pipes burst. The banks of the river burst. Just so you know. So it's just vocabulary. So reading is really good, reading books and listening to things, because you'll just pick up lots of vocabulary a little bit. Like the flood got stopped. You know, the flood stopped. You don't need got, although it's good, you know, in British use got a lot, you know. The flood stopped, or the water stopped actually. And, you know, then the water, the flood, it's, you know, went down. Okay, the house was flooded by a burst pipe. All right, and then you said about, if we go into the third or the last part, it was about how we get more experience and get educate. It's like get educated or get more education. So again, using the right term, that's right. Don't want to take risk. Don't want to take risks. And you said don't want to risk. Okay. Don't want to take a risk. All right, otherwise that was very good. I thought you could respond quite easily and you don't need to be nervous, and maybe it's your first mock exam. So good, you did very well. And I picked up you're nervous, maybe somebody wouldn't, because you give very good eye contact, and that's good. And I think maybe you could go online maybe, and there are some chats maybe in English, which might be very good, easy for you. And if you did that and read, you would really lift up your level and you wouldn't be nervous at all. And again, I mean, the thing is, I think I had it with the other student too, and often, every day I do tests, there's a similar problem with everybody. The language is very simple. And really, because you're quite a technical guy and you're obviously high-flying, you need to be using a little bit more complex language. So again, by reading, so it comes naturally. You don't want to make a mistake, so you don't want to risk maybe saying something that's incorrect, but perhaps it would be better. And so I would again suggest reading books that have a CD and listening and reading at the same time, sometimes just listening, then just reading them. They might be simple, but they're still full of vocabulary and all the prepositions fall into the right place, and it automatically will become part of your language use because you're already at a level that it will just filter down. Okay, and again, you must be reading technical stuff in English, articles, because of your work, I guess.
Yeah, mostly, but I mostly listen.
Well, maybe you need some headlines. And you can go to science websites and just, even the headlines, they've got good vocabulary. Maybe some psychology so that you can talk about people becoming smart or not, is innate or learned, and exposure to different experiences. So exposure is a good word, innate is a good word, which means you're born with it. Yeah. That's all I have to say, so very good, well done.
Thank you.
And maybe go on a chat and specifically for language, in a group online, so you get to speak, you just be very helpful for you. Are you planning on going abroad?
Well, not right now. Probably in the future, in 2 years.
Unless Iran transforms dramatically. You never know. Well, all right. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And good luck with whatever you do. Thank you. Okay. Hello. hello, and this is again more feedback. And you do need to have a complexity. You need to use of language. You do need to use appropriate vocabulary. For example, burst pipe. You know, the flooding, or the flood. We stopped the flood. You know, we were able to stop the water flowing. Using educate and taking risks. And in language, you have to take risks actually and explain and express what you want to. But then you need to check that you're using the appropriate form, the right form of the word. So both in tense and how you're using it as an adverb, as a verb, an expression. So those things are very important for a level 7. And if you can do that and you can speak long enough, so you have to have read around subjects and practice them. So I suggest taping yourselves so that you can actually, you listen to yourself and see, have you been umming and ahhing? Are you having to concentrate to pick a word? Could you say it simpler, or could you go and look up some new vocabulary and use them appropriately? Those are my suggestions.